Nā, kuia te keokeonga o te kapa haka. Whā te kaumārua ngā kapa, he pūkana, he pakitinana, he whakahihi, he whakakorikori te mahi. Tuia ko ngā moinga tīkāka, nehu tīkāka, whakakōtea niho, me te whakapūioio i te tinana. I nā te nui o ngā mahi whakariterite, mo te whakataetai, te Matatini o te rā. And today is finals day. 9 of the 42 teams are on stage, giving the best half-hour performance of their lives. And Marae Investigates is at the heart of it all. We're crossing now to Gisborne and to Jody Haka. What's the word on the finalists, Jody?
Kia ora, Scotty. Well, I don't know if you can hear this. Behind me is performing Opotiki Mai Tawhiti. They've just done a haka, and oh my gosh, it makes your spine tingle. Top marks to the organisers. This is an absolutely stunning theatre. It's a natural amphitheatre. The sound is exquisite. It might be raining, but as Māori we think that's a good sign. Good luck to all the teams performing today. Certainly makes you feel very proud to be Māori, continuing on these ancient traditions of getting together and acknowledging our ancestors through Kapa Haka.
Thanks a lot, Jody. We'll talk to you again in a short while. And the finalists for today are... Now, as you can see, there's one team from Tainui, and that's Te Pou o Manga Tāwhiri. Most of the teams come from the local region, Te Tairāwhiti or the East Coast. Opotiki Mai Tawhiti, Te Hokowhitua, Tū Whangarā, Waihirere, Te Whānau Apa Nui. There's two teams from the mighty Te Arawa region, Te Mātārai, Io Rehu and Ngāti Rangi Wewahi, and of course, the champions 4 times, Te Waka Huia. There's rhythm and vines and Māori as more than 20,000 people enjoy the flick of the piu-piu, the power of the haka and the supreme excellence that is Kapa Haka. We're at the biennial International Kapa Haka Festival in Gisborne. Now, for broadcast copyright reasons, we can't show you the on-stage performances, but Jody Haka captured all the drama.
The brilliance, the battle scene of Te Matatini o te rā.
Kia ora, ko Jana Hura tōku ingoa.
Who are you here with?
Te whānau a kai.
How did your performance go?
It was mean, meke, the vibe from the crowd and everything is just awesome. All the tautoko from the whānau was mean.
The competition is fierce as 42 teams over 5 days gather to fight for first place in this prestigious display of everything that is great about being Māori.
The wairua, the essence that the Matatini brings to the place, the feeling it brings, and just being around all their whānau and stuff, everyone's family.
More than 10,000 people gathered to watch as the cream of the Kapa Haka crop thrash it out in this competition that's been going since 1972. No smoking, no drinking, no drugs and no photos. No problem for the rangatahi.
And it's smoke and alcohol and drug free, so that's even better. It's not like, you know, all those other big concerts they have.
Horses were trotted out for the pōhiri and provided more cheer factor throughout the festival.
Oh, my job here is security on the horses. So we kicked some people out yesterday for drinking and out here, so it's been really good so far.
Māori issues on stage and off. The small group is furious the Ngāti Puro Treaty Settlement isn't recognising their hapu. So what's this protest about?
On our signs there, Jody, it says whānau and hapu, and that's what it's really all about. It's about saying, hey, it's my identity that you're playing around with, and it's not for sale, it's not negotiable. I am who I am.
Right here I have some petitions for signatures with,
All we want is justice out of this, and so many injustices over here. That's why we're here today, waiting a hika.
How many signatures did you get?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 signatures.
This issue of protest is nicely managed away from the performances. There's no distraction. There's food, fun and learning.
All the people here are lovers of te reo Māori, so we're here making their dreams come true and giving them good stuff to take home to their families.
Nā, e whāanga toanga o te wakahuia I te whakataetai o te motu, kei roto anō rātou I ngā whiringa toa I te rānei. Ka re kore ko ngā koingo rangi kane ki tō rātou pou whakawhirinaki o tira ki te kahurangi o Hinerehia kia nen wehi hei whakaawe-awe I a rātou I tēnei rā. I toi poto atu rā anen ki pōwau tini karioi e rua wiki ki muri. Now we're live from Gisborne with the first of our interviews.
Kia ora, Darren. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time here. Congratulations, it's a pretty slick production. How's it gone for you?
Oh, I think today is the culmination of many months of preparation and planning. I'm very humbled by how this event has actually panned out. The organising team behind it has been absolutely huge. They've been fantastic. And our motto since we've started the festival proper has been nothing is a problem.
Nothing is a problem. As a Ngāti Porou leader, how much pressure is actually on you to get this right?
That's a lofty title to have, Ngāti Porou leader. I would rather consider myself as more of a Ngāti Porou facilitator of a festival that holds a lot of mana for all of us. To get this right, of course, there is a lot of pressure, not only on myself, but on everyone that's involved in it. I think that we've come through it with pretty good colours, but the results are really in the words of other people, and so therefore I think that we've done a good job.
In the past, there have been stalls and tents that celebrate the individuality of iwi. That hasn't happened this time. It seems quite corporate. What's that about?
Well, there are actually iwi corporates within our major VIP area, but also down in our stores area we've allowed a lot of different organisations to come in. Obviously, Tai Rāwhiti, being out on Gisborne, have wanted to swamp into the stall area, so it's just the way how it's been, and we've been accepting of that.
Over $1 million of government funding. How is that money actually used around here?
Well, we haven't actually got $1 million worth of government funding in this. A majority of it has actually come from sponsorship. Yes, of course we have funds from government, but a majority has actually come from outside sponsorship. So everything has been put into the infrastructure and into the support of the whole project. And in particular, we've got key sponsors such as Eastland Community Trust, who are a local regional trust that actually is meant to be putting money into their own community. But they see this particular event as a major community event for them, so they put in $250,000. We've had Te Puia, who are again another organisation that don't use government funding, and they've given us $125,000, Waikato University, etc.
$65 for tickets. Is that accessible for most of our Māori whānau?
Well, we had a ticketing strategy, and we started with early bird tickets way back in August, and we kept the strategy was early birds back to August through to October, then we increased the price, but the board saw a light of keeping it like that all the way through. That early bird ticket was $45, but you have to get to a point of where we do have to bump up. The $65 ticket, I think the amount of people that have come through justifies that we had the price right.
How do you think Kapa Haka and this competition have evolved since 1972?
Oh, well, I think to start with, you've just got to have a look at the kakahu. I think you have to look at the way in which we actually celebrate ourselves.
Are you talking about the lipstick and the false eyelashes?
Oh,
and they're looking pretty hot?
Oh, well, I think everyone looks pretty hot up on stage. But more importantly, too, it is the way in which our stories are told. There's more dynamic dynamism on the stage, and it's just the way in which we are reflecting how our culture is changing in the modern world.
Given all of that, what has Te Matatini done in terms of reaching a wider audience, taking this international?
Sure. We've created a 5-year strategy of where we want to go global, and to be able to do that, there is a number of things that we have to have support from. First of all, and key to that, is how do we get our broadcasting right? So I think this particular time we've really had a good crack at broadcasting. We've got over 150 media here from not only within New Zealand and from around the world. We've got excellent radio broadcasts through Tūranga FM and Radio Ngāti Porou that are getting it out to 220,000 people that are listening on
What
Saturday.
about the mainstream media? The New Zealand Herald had a bit of a crack at you guys over access. We've personally had issues with access. What's that about?
I think it's also got to do, too, Jodie, with how much we can actually accommodate on site. And so that's nothing personal against any of those particular media forms, but it just boils down to how much we can actually fit on site at that particular time.
Okay. How much pressure do you come under from the winners?
How much pressure do I come under the winners? Well, I'll just channel that up to my board. No, but more importantly,
how are they celebrated?
They will be celebrated in a very special way. They will be given the opportunity for any international performances overseas that the government or other organisations may want to go on. And we're just in the process of ensuring that we have that for the next 2 years.
Excellent. Okay, kia ora. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Kia ora.
All the best. Back to you, Scotty.
Kia ora, Jody, tēnā koe. Nothing is a problem. That's the attitude. Ngā tūmanako are one of the Auckland groups featuring our own Tahuri Tūmoana.
Kia ora, I'm here to talk to Tahuri. He's just giving a hongi to Darren who's leaving over here because that's how everything is here at Te Matatini. We're being Māori. You were Māori. How did you get involved with your group?
Well, first off, our group Ngā Tūmanako started off in 2005 and it's basically centred around Te Wharekura o Te Marae Hoani Waititi. And it was the ex-students who had been part of a lot of the top teams, whānara, hoko whetū, you name it, they were all in it. And my kids go to the school. So for me and my wife, it was a good idea that we actually go back to the kura and role model to our kids. You know, when we say to them, do this, do that, we actually do it ourselves. So that's how I got involved and it's been awesome ever since.
You have to put so much time and energy and commitment into it. Aroha mai, how do you feel about not hitting the top 9?
Well, someone very famous said to be a Māori is to be a volunteer. And that means, like, you have a duty, I suppose, to participate in Māori events, to be part of Māori kaupapa. And, yeah, it's a lot of blood, sweat and tears. It's a lot of heartache. But at the end of the day, it's all worth it. You know, what are we doing anyway? What are we doing anyway? So it's hard, but another way it's easy.
There are different components to the whole actual half-hour performance, but you said before it is all about the haka. What's going through your mind when you're on stage?
Well, it's always nerves. Sometimes I can't feel my legs. And with haka these days, because there's so much choreography that you need your legs. But, you know, you just suck it up. You just think about everyone who supported you, because although there's 40 people on stage, there's about 200 supporters behind you, hoping that you give it all your all, because you're representing them as well. So it's about them. It's about people who have passed away. You know, we just had Nen Wihi pass away, and that still is hurting a lot of the teams and a lot of the people who have haka'd, because there's so much part of the history of this whole event. So, you know, you've really got to man up and you really got to give it your all and just do your best on there.
Hey, have you heard any kōrero about whānau being unhappy about not being able to take photos?
For me, that's a sad thing that because the whānau can't be on stage and you're there representing them, that they can't just take a snapshot or they can't film it. It's tough, but I suppose that's the way that these things are going. It's all about competition and there needs to be structure, because without structure there's chaos, and it's already chaotic on there as it is.
How much competition is there actually between the different teams?
Oh my gosh, I mean 1972, 2011, if you just watch those old videos and you look now, you can see the difference in the groups. There's only like a millimetre separating them, half a point. You know, 0.5 of a mark can make the difference between being in the round or being on the stage right now in the finals.
What does the haka actually mean to you?
Well, being tūhoi, haka is all about identity. For me, it's who I am, what am I about, it's about where I come from. And when you come from an urban group like Ngā Tūmanako, who are Ngā Haue Whā, you know, we've got Ngāpuhi, Te Arawa, we've got everyone in the team. So it's about the whānau building that you have with each other. So it's about putting on a new korowai, let's say, a new identity, and standing brothers in arms and going toe-to-toe with some of the groups that have been around for right from the beginning.
Are there any fights for the front line?
Hey, I was one of the first ones that said, I want to be in the front row. I wasn't. I was middle row second. I was second row in the middle, which is still a great spot. But, you know, it is, you gotta fight for your position. You gotta earn the right to be on the stage, because it is a privilege and it's hard. So you want the best team on the stage on the day.
When you look around and see the other performances, do you rate them as a performer or as someone from your rohe?
Well, for a lot of the groups here, they're iwi-based, so you can tell who's from Whānau Apanu, you can tell who's from Ngāti Porou, you can tell the tūhoi groups, you know. So just looking at them now, I rate them when they show who they are. You can see their personality, the mito te reo, their dialects, I think is very important. And it's an awesome vehicle to keep those things going, to find new avenues of improving, sharpening, and striving to be the best.
How do you work out what it is you want to communicate through your performance?
Well, a lot of people, they usually start with, who are we? And you mihi to the people who are the hosts, the tanata whenua. And then from there, you know, you got all the issues like politics. Tūhoi, we're always talking about the claims. That's a big part of how we were denied te uruwera, but that doesn't matter. So in Manitaki, Papapito, you know, he's talking about the super city and how having seats on that council, we need to have them. So it's up to the individual teams, but, you know, taking what's happening around you and putting it on there and being smart about it and putting it across in a Māori way.
What do you think of the fact that Māori leaders like Papa Pete perform? You know, you look at him and you sense that he's such a leader.
He's a legend. He's a legend. Manutaki have been in the Aotearoa traditional performing arts. Now it's Te Matatini, so he's been right there from day one. And to see him on the stage, still being a Māori MP, you know, Minister of Māori Affairs, Māori Party, all the raris they got going on, but he's still on there kicking it and looking better than some of the young ones, I would say.
So what's next for Ngā Tūmanako and you?
For Ngā Tūmanako, well, I'm gutted that we didn't make it on finals day. I mean, that was always the A plan. You always aim to be on stage at the end of the day. So we're gutted, but, you know, we'll keep on banging the door, and if they don't let us in, we're going to smash it down.
You're all pretty young.
Pretty young. I'm one of the oldest ones in the group. I'll be 36 on Tuesday, so I mean, I'm one of the old ones, and there's a lot of young ones, and my babies, they know our bracket, and they're only 8 and 6, and Tūmanako will just keep going.
So what are you going to do now? You're going to take part in the Haka for Guinness Book of Records?
I must go and learn the words. I mean, if you're at home, you might as well try and go on the Matatini website, look at the words, do the Haka in your lounge. I don't know. It's awesome. It's an awesome feeling, and it's a good day to be Māori, actually.
It's an awesome day. Kia ora Tahuri, so proud of you.
Sweet,
congratulations.
Thanks. Kia ora whānau.
Kia ora. Kia ora, back to you, Scotty.
Yes, kia ora, koru, and for what it's worth, Tahuri, I thought Ngā Tūmanako very unlucky to miss out on the finals, along, of course, with Ngā Uri o Te Whanua. They were unlucky too. And Jodie, you must have come across some beautiful voices in Gisborne there.
Oh, look, Scotty, it's been absolutely stunning. Opera singers, a bit of rock star singing, a hint of hip-hop. You know, they turn their guitars over and bang the back of it to give it a bit of thumping beats. Really has been quite amazing, and I think it's moving to incorporate more sort of modern influences, particularly for the rangatahi groups. We're waiting now, of course, until between 3 and 4 o'clock where the winners will be announced. At lunchtime, there's going to be a Guinness Book of Record attempt at the world's biggest haka. So we wait.
And it's finals day, so come on, come down off the fence and give us a winner. Who do you think's going to win?
Well, look, I could never possibly pick a winner, but I'm loving the group behind me. Edina Smith from Te Karere is performing. They just had the most amazing shots of her with the poi, giving it death out there. You know, they give it their absolute all. They leave it on the stage. They come off the stage with croaky voices, a little bit of laryngitis, which just shows how important, how the history, continuing these traditions for Māori, it's really important to them. It's awesome to see.
Okay, let me interpret that. So you're saying Te Hoko Whitu Atu's going to win? What's the word around the crowd there? What's the crowd sort of, what's the feeling there? Do they think there's a Wakahuia again, or is there another group?
No, it's one of those things that you could never, as Māori, actually work out, and which is why the judges, I think, have such a tough job. They have to be really strict and look at the actual movements and look at everything. We couldn't even actually work out how many of the teams performing were from Te Tai Rāwhiti. Was it 2? Was it 5? Who knows? The Te Arawa groups think they should be winning it all. It's always going to be viciously competitive because that's how we are as iwi.
Of course. Thank you very much for your efforts today, Jodie, and I will just let you know, of course, that I think Te Matarai I o Rehu is going to win this year.
Oh, they're pretty awesome, all right.
I might be a bit biased. I might be a bit biased. Tēnā koe ahoa. Mā te wā, kia pai te mātakitaki I ngā whiringa toa I tēnei rā.